There's a Tuesday, and our debut album, Blush, is out now.
We're an indie band from Aotearoa, all born in Christchurch.
How'd you guys meet? At
Well-
Gus's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Should we
explain
trace
that story?
Should we trace it back? Yeah. It's well, actually, I think first meeting. I mean, you knew Gus when you were little kids.
We went to preschool together,
Yeah.
but maybe I was in the class
I was late
above.
for the picture.
Maybe I was in the class above. I was doing heaps of puzzles and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gus wasn't quite up to doing puzzles yet.
In the sandpit, bro.
He was in the sandpit, bro. I was like, mate.
He was playing with trains.
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
And Joel, I used to work at a cafe called Joe's Garage, bit of an iconic cafe. And Joel would come in for a coffee sometimes, and I don't think we ever were like, hey, but we sort of like knew who each other were.
I surfed with your dad a bit.
Minnie and I met at Gus's birthday party, and I feel like there was a bit of an intimidating crew there, like some pretty cool peeps, and I was like a bit nervous, and then Minnie came over and said hey, and she was like, I play the guitar, and I was like, I played the guitar, and then next week bust out to where she lived, and we played the guitar together, and have been doing it ever since, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soulmate besties.
Soulmate besties.
I was in bed one night and I get a FaceTime from Minnie, and I probably talked about 3 times. And she goes, do I join the band? I was like, sure. That's
Sure.
how it happened.
It's good you thought
No
long and hard
thought,
about it.
yeah. I think it's probably quite a defining thing in all of our lives, especially because we've all sort of grown up together, watching each other through this quite funny, like crazy setting, which is the music world. You know, playing shows with artists that we really admire, and some pretty incredible opportunities, eh?
Yeah.
And just sharing that, and probably at times having some pretty funny moments, eh?
Yeah.
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 And even just watching each other grow personally.
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, I think we've all been together through like a lot of core moments in each of our lives. I feel like it's been like definitely like a bit of a safety net for me, at least, as well as like the most exciting thing in my world.
What is your guys' best memory?
Ooh.
It's almost like, for me, it'd be just like coming off stage and like, yeah, mate, that was sick. Like those memories all together have just been something to look forward to
Yeah,
and create in the moment.
I totally agree. That's actually a real core one for me as well. I think is that feeling after you do the really obviously joyous thing of playing a show, but also the kind of, at the same time, quite hard and nerve-wracking thing.
And then also just like the times that we like are getting the like pretty early morning Jetstar flights at 5 a.m. and we're
Those are the dusty ones.
getting up together, and Gus is eating the chicken Subway out the fridge from the night before, and it's just like they're also they're the good times too.
Yeah. I love my sandwiches.
Yeah. What's your go-to sub?
Go-to sub. It's been a battle for the ages between the pork riblet and the meatball sub.
Bro, I'm a meatball boy.
Great tap memories. Genuinely eating or sort of having the random meals before shows and that kind of stuff. When we've been touring around and stuff, like the places that we've found, and kind of just since we don't all live in the same place these days, like having some nice kind of catch up moments in an environment out of the usual is like kind of special.
But also, you're a lot better with your money than the rest of us. Gus will opt out of a restaurant and go buy a $5 pie in the gas station.
And
Two
we'll
for
just
five.
like look out the window and he'll be like eating it outside, like, hey. And so, yeah, Gus is
But
going to go a
sometimes
long
he
way.
catches that with us too.
I admire it. I'm so bad.
I don't know where all the money goes.
Pies, mate. Too many pies.
Too many pies.
just put out our debut album, Blush, which is really exciting. So next up, we will be touring that around Aotearoa and playing in some pretty cool spots.
There are a lot of really amazing moments recording the album. I think one special memory was recording the track Bryden, starting that process off while we were overseas. It was a kind of new approach for us in terms of starting collaboratively rather than sort of an individual writer. It was really cool to see the process sort of evolve alongside everyone.
Close enough to try, I feel it right behind my eyes. Holding good time. Holding good time.
I've got vinyl, so that's pretty exciting. It's our first time ever having a physical thing like that, aside from maybe like CDs we've burnt ourselves.
And stickers.
And stickers. That's physical.
But he's gone into like what, the school printing room usually?
Yeah, I went to the uni maker's space and made a lot of badges, which I don't think I was really supposed to do, because I think you're probably supposed to make 2 or 3 badges if you want to make a badge, but I made like 20 plus, and then I left them all in an Uber. And that guy just snapped them up, said they weren't in there.
He goes, oh, they're not in
They
there, but
were.
he has a lot of these Tuesday badges on his lapel.
But yeah, we're doing a record, which is pretty amazing with Holiday Records. They're pretty amazing people, so we're stoked to be working with them, and yeah, really excited about that.
It'll be cool to see the physical thing and like hold it in our hands. It'll be pretty sweet. And
Playing for the first time.
yeah. And the image, the cover art, the album cover is like a really beautiful photo Minnie took. We're in Mexico.
San Jose del Pacifico, which is this really amazing like mountain top town in Mexico. It was absolutely amazing. I wish I knew who did the mural. It's like a photo of a mural of a tiger just like running along, and then perfectly underneath it this dog was just like parked up sleeping.
Yeah.
And it was just like the most cool little moment, and heaps of the film on that roll like didn't come back, but that one photo like was kept and preserved, and I was like so stoked.
I
was like,
feel
that's the
like
one.
lots of stuff with this album has been just kind of like, doesn't feel like fate or something, but you know, being like, oh, that's the only one that came out of the roll, or like coming back from, we drove the like 9-hour drive from Welly back to Auckland after a show, and we were like brainstorming names for the album the whole way, and we finally came to Blush, which is what our album is called. And then going to an interview a couple of days later, we stopped outside this like new dairy that had just been put up in Auckland City, and the sign said Blush Dairy. So we were like, that's a sign, eh? It was a sign, but it was also a sign.
It was a sign,
yeah,
2
double
signs.
sign.
Quite crazy, because there's this perfect sort of paint line of like an orangey sort of red across the top, sort of blush-esque. And yeah, we worked with an awesome designer, Steve Leggett, who managed to, on the vinyl, stretch the line around the back of the vinyl, and then have sort of just stretch the entire image all the way around, which is just like probably one of the most exciting, satisfying things I've ever seen. I was like, how did you do that?
When you think back all the concept, it's like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
So
your
it's cool.
favourite song on the album, Joel?
Can we do like top 2?
Top 2, yeah.
I'm gonna go Billy and Cottonmouth.
Me.
I love listening to Billy. It's like, it's such a grocery shopping song for me.
Oh, nice.
How about you, Cassie?
I love Long Distance Lovers, Water Baby. Yeah, I think those are some highlights for me. Both quite moody songs, but yeah.
Number 1 is definitely London and Leaving, and that is like, yeah, that was a mini track, and I think incredible, and I feel really lucky to get to play and sing it. So that's probably number one for me. And then number two, maybe Bryden, just because of how it was created when we were all writing it together in the studio. That was quite a nice time, and one of the first times we'd done that, and it was pretty cool. So that's pretty special to me.
Mine's probably Margot. I think Margot is such a fun song to play. I really think the lyrics are really beautiful. They have a really beautiful sentiment and mean a lot, obviously. So yeah, that's a song I really enjoy. And yeah, Bryden for me as well. I think that day that we had in Sydney writing it with Glenn was such a beautiful day. It's preserved in my memory as one of our best for sure.
So this is my little studio space in Brighton, and this is where I spend pretty much every day, and kind of overlooks the sea, so it's very cruisy, nice vibe. We've recorded all the Tat stuff here, and we recorded the whole album here, bar some drums. I feel very relaxed here.
I reckon a good way to probably explain the atmosphere of here is the fact that we've all maybe fallen asleep here a couple times just while someone else is doing something, like you're recording bass or whatever, or drums or vocals, and one of us will just nod off and then wake up like, whoa. A lot of good memories of different kind of parts of the There's a Tuesday journey, It's from like maybe our third ever song that we made or something we recorded here. We did a project then, and then we did another project, and then this is the third one, and this is the album too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I reckon our sound is, like, obviously we have our vision, and the song is written not here, but then as soon as it comes here, I think it transforms into like exactly what we want it to sound like, and
It evolves.
yeah.
Like everything you've ever made is like, we can look at it right now, which is quite cool. This is the cool thing of not using like many computer instruments, is that it's all like long distance lovers or something. Like I can look at the pedal that has, So I feel like in that way, it definitely, the space contributes a lot, just because we're kind of limited. Like if you want synth, that's the synth.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. And then vibe-wise, I'm sure it kind of seeps in.
By recording it here, I feel like, we are able to make it super, raw and exactly how we intend it to sound every time, which is really, really special, and something that I personally, I don't know about you guys, but have found quite hard to achieve in maybe other recording spaces in comparison to here.
Felt really lucky, like with this project and all of the time leading up to it, sort of the relationship that we've got to build with this guy, and I think it's been really valuable, I think, as a musician to find a producer that
you spend time getting comfortable and then getting open, and then the music just has been able to roll kind of from there. So
Yeah, especially like you know that we're comfortable when someone's like falling asleep every day, and you know. I think also the fact that it's in a living room and there is music equipment in there now, but it really is still a living room, so it can only feel so intense. I think it's quite nice. Like, I haven't really done much recording in professional studios, but what I have done, it kind of does feel like you walk into a live room and it's like slightly intimidating and feels very like you have to really perform, whereas I think in here it's like it's just casual and homely, and I think stuff does come out of here feeling quite homely as well, you know.
100%.
And it's not like fully treated or anything, but I think it's a nice vibe.
What I've loved recording here is a lot of things, but Will's sister owns a wee coffee cart down the road, so I feel like every day we were getting one, maybe two. I wouldn't have ever gotten three. I'm not that kind of person. But would you have ever gotten 3 coffees?
There's probably the chance, and I'm not trying to sound tough, but I would have had 1 in the morning at home. Right, potentially even 2, and then enjoyed 1 or 2 here, so.
I feel like we look alike. Same colourings, same snout.
For me, I think a cool thing that I reflect on quite often is the fact that this record has been recorded over so many years now. Like, I feel like some of the songs came about ages ago, and we probably would have even showed them to you like in Royal Way, like, hey, here's this new song I wrote, and then there were songs recorded probably like almost 2 years ago, and to songs now,
Sure.
and the sound is like all very similar, but I think you can sort of hear even in the more recent ones or whatever, this kind of sense of growth or something. And I think that's what the record's about for us, is it's like hopefully a snapshot of like our maturation and our writing and what we want to say kind of thing. So that's been pretty cool to do that like alongside each other, and have, like, even you were saying with those older ones, you kind of like compared them to the newer ones, and then kind of had to like change them to the new ones because you'd learned so many new things
true.
along the way.
Yeah. Just for what I'm doing in this, it's really easy to see progress because it's like a little bit more technical. It's maybe harder with songwriting stuff, but it's very easy for me. It's quite a nice way to mark my progress because I listen to like, I think maybe the oldest one would be Long Distance Lovers, right? But I think once we worked on all of these ones, I went back and I was like, oh man, like the other mixes are so much better than this now. And then I can hopefully bring that up to speed.
I've got a soft spot for Margot. Some nights I look just like her. Brown eyes, please don't take it for granted. Oh, every sweaty body after dark swears they love me. Go on, go and mistake me for Margot.
I thought it was cool doing London and Leaving, just because it was just a way more stripped back process and just really interesting to have that experience and then just feel how much easier it makes it to accept what you've come out with and feel proud of it. It's like a lot less complicated.
Because how many takes did we do?
I think it was like 2, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it was in a day, right? Or like you did it in the
Yeah.
afternoon or something.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because when there are like lots of parameters you can change, when there are like 4 guitar tracks and you can, like, I could endlessly tinker with them. It's nice with that when it's so simple because it's just like, does it feel good? Yes, no. It's like a much easier way to work. There's like a lot less overthinking that you can even do if you wanted to. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
And it came out just feeling so nice and so fully formed, and it feels really good. I think it's just fun for us to do something that's like a bit more
Yes.
live.
Because it wasn't even going to be recorded, actually. And
Right.
that, remember you'd come down from Auckland to record some songs. Then we were driving home, and I was like, oh, like, I'll show you a song that I've been working on. And then you were like,
oh, let's record that tomorrow. And I was like, whoa, I didn't like, yeah, now it's my favourite track on the album,
It's so
which is
good.
crazy that,
You know when you have a bit more time to be like, oh, we could add that and that would feel like that and that would be cool, like, and you almost sometimes do too much or something.
Yep.
We kind of were like limited ourselves to that afternoon, and then we were listening to it and we're like, whatever happens, like it just has to be what happened that afternoon, because that was kind of the magical like thing, that it was like just really fast and it felt cool and we were excited.
I love a lot of the elements of that track as well, or like doing the acoustic kind of stuff, like bringing it back to while this album kind of feels like it's like a new sound and stuff. There's all of these snippets of like what has been the past for us working with Will, and how like songwriting's formed.
There's a Tuesday started off almost as like an acoustic thing because we couldn't have the boys into the music competition. We joined, like, because Joel was like had just left school or something, legend. So we did it as a duo, and then for a while it was just acoustic guitar, and I had bought this like horrific like stomp pedal, horse stomp,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and it sounded like absolute crap. And then we had it had a horse noise actually. I like that you say that, Gus, because I'm like, oh, even though, you know, what we do now is very like quite electric guitar heavy and like very bandy with the drums and the bass, it is cool to kind of have that snapshot of like something that we, you know, very much were when we first started. Yeah.
One thing that stood out to me was the times that we weren't recording, just workshopping. Like, for example, one night, Minnie, Will and I were here just workshopping the lyrics to Water Baby.
Yeah.
Just
That's right.
like going around in
Yeah.
circles and circles, getting anything. But it like prompted Min to go away, and that night she wrote the rest of it. The process to get there happened here, and I was like, that's sick. Like,
That was a
don't
special
need to open up the computer.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the way the sort of intimate side comes out, and the vulnerable side is just like having it there in front of you, workshopping it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really special for me.
Yeah, I reckon that's the most important stuff, like more important than how the drums sound or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Like really just doing like the last 5% of like lyrics and just making the structure a little bit tighter. Like it's actually so important to do that, and can take like an hour.
A big part of this album for me as well has just been like, you know, just trying to feel like I can kick ass behind the drums and contribute, you know, wholly to what I feel like is such a important like project for all of us.
We've all had like such an amazing time recording this album, especially with Will, who is like all of our favourite artists and our hero, so it's a pretty big, cool, massive thing to get to have recorded this album with you. But
Yep. Back at you.
Will's my hero. I actually was like such a fan of Will's old band Nomad that I was underage and couldn't get in, and my mum wouldn't take me to the concert, so I got my old guitar teacher to pretend to be my dad so I could go watch them, and I bought a poster, and I went and I was like, man, I kind of want the lead singer to sign it. So I went up to him and I was like, do you reckon you could sign this poster? And then I got the other 2 signatures, went home, it was on my wardrobe for about 4 years until I met Will, and then I was just like, man, I actually need to take this down right now. I'm like this. But always have loved Will's writing and musicianship, and it's been such an honour. You know, I think I'm speaking on behalf of all of us here to work with him and his beautiful space. It's just been incredible. And although the poster's not on my wall anymore,
Still
it's still it's still in the wardrobe.
It's still in my house.
So I need to find it.
But you should.
Yeah.
When you let it down, you felt it right in your stomach. You told me in January you drunk the neck of the bottle. We were talking right through me about London and leaving and getting out and getting even. No reason to stay when you let your baby slip away. Somehow it's been a year now. Somehow
What do I love about being in a band with Nat. A million different things. She's a very positive, kind, funny human being who makes me laugh like 99% of the time that we're together, which is pretty special. I think she's a really amazing musician, and I feel really lucky to play alongside her. She's also put countless hours into all the behind the scenes admin that being in a band requires. And I think, yeah, I just admire her in a lot of ways. I think she's a really amazing person. She's my best friend, so I feel really lucky to play music with her and, yeah, have countless good things to say about her. She's just a really amazing people person, and she's got a real ability to connect with people and bring people in and make them feel welcome. Love her to bits. She's awesome.
I love being in a band with Joel, and I think he is, such a key member. Everyone is, but Joel has this kind of special power of not letting things overwhelm him and being quite an anxious and often overthinky kind of person. It's pretty refreshing to have him around, and yeah, he possibly could have created the saying, "It is what it is," and yeah, he's such a nice presence to have in any situation, whether that be in the studio or performing. But yeah, he's one of my best mates, and it's been such a privilege to get to know him over the years, and yeah, I love him heaps.
Gas, fuck, he's not my best mate. He's had pretty hard year with himself, and just seeing him go through it and just be resilient and strong and having the courage to open up and talk to his best mates has just been inspiring, to be honest, because for me personally, I don't really show much emotion, so for him to be like, "Look guys, I'm struggling," I'm like, damn, that's not cool that you're struggling, but cool that you can talk about it. And he's still able to smack those drums like nobody's business. He's fucking amazing. For the album itself, his contribution has just been like a wise old man. Like, he'll be like that, like we'll give an idea, he'll be like, that's cool, but theoretically it doesn't make sense, because he's quite well trained on the drums. I'm like, yeah, we'll give it a go. And he said, okay, we'll try, and then we'll do it, and it doesn't, and then he just had that little grin on his face, like, yeah, I told you so. Which is always funny to be him, but yeah, nah, love you, Gus. You're a good boy.
I love that Min is forever like coming up with new things. I think just like having an unlimited sort of stream of ideas has to come from someone who's very attuned to life and observant about the things that sort of goes on around them. And I think that really pays off in her writing. I think being such a sort of kind person and well-rounded kind of person allows for some pretty interesting sort of writing to come out, and I think she's just in tune with herself, and I think that provides the band with like a real asset. I think, yeah, Min's if anyone's the heart of the band, it's that lady. Yeah, love There's a Tuesday. This album's gonna be great, and I'm very proud of my bros.